That is a crazy amount of runes to be able to start the game with. Now, here's the thing. This is something that Miyazaki will typically go in and patch these kinds of things out of the game, and I get it. Right, I get it. But my thing is that in Elden Ring, there's a couple of things I think at play that continually balance the game. That's not what I wanted. A couple of things at play that I think continually balance the game, and some of those things are that, one, as you progress through the game, you will basically always be within 2 to 3 hits of death from bosses, right? Like, obviously, if I do this at the very beginning of the game, then I come back to Limgrave, and I put, like, you know, a ton of points in Vitality, and then in Vigor, then I'm going to be able to tank a lot more hits. But as you progress through the game, at each area, you're always within 2 to 3 hits of being taken out. And so having a crazy amount of stats doesn't help as much as you would think. Also, in addition to that, is the fact that when you get crazy stats online early, you don't learn how to play the game. And so as a result of that fact, you may have a lot of stats, but you're still going to get taken out pretty easily because you didn't learn the fundamentals. And so it may come later than sooner, but you will reach a point where you just can't progress anymore because you didn't actually learn how to play the game. So I think having the ability to get a bunch of stats and get crazy builds online early doesn't hurt the game balance as much as people might think it would. But I get it, right? Like, there's a certain way that Miyazaki wants the game to be played, and the challenge is the point. So what I would say for me personally is I think that there are some boss cheeses that I agree with being removed. Like, I agree with being able to cheese Radahn being removed, because that was like a... what's the word I'm looking for? Like a centerpiece? That was meant to be a really, really big deal. Fighting Radahn. Like, there'd never been a fight like it before. As far as I'm aware, there's no fight in the Souls game where you're summoning an army of heroes to battle against this colossal foe. It's like a raid battle. It's like a precursor to Night Rain, or Raid, or whatever. It's like... blah, blah, blah. It's like a precursor to the upcoming Elden Ring Night Rain game. And so I can understand wanting to patch out the Radahn cheeses. And I can understand, even though it was just hilarious and silly, I can understand wanting to patch out the Moog cheese as well. And so I can understand why the Moog cheese was removed. But a lot of these other boss cheeses, I hope they stay in the game because, again, if you're a new player, it's not really going to help you, right? If you're brand new and you don't really know how to play the game, then having crazy high stats, you're still not going to be able to progress very far because you haven't built up the fundamentals to be able to play the game properly. And if you've got thousands of hours in the game, then you're kind of just looking for, ways to, I'll say 25, I'll say 40. You're looking for ways to kind of keep the game interesting at that point. And so I think the ability to see what crazy builds we can challenge ourselves to get online early is a good way to keep the game interesting for players with a lot of hours under their hat. So some of these other cheeses I hope never get removed from the game because they're just a fun way to just experiment early on. One of the things that you'll find as you spend more time with Elden Ring, I feel like there was something I wanted. Oh yeah, I needed to make sure I had the gold pickle fowl foot talisman. Or cookbook, whatever. So I'm going to do this real quick. I don't actually need this because I didn't do the patches foul feet yet. But real quick, and I'll finish my other thought. A lot of people, I think, go through the game carefully hoarding their gold pickle foul feet because it's like a crazy good item. It boosts the amount of runes you get on a takedown for a period of time. And it feels a little unattainable to be able to keep messing with it. But the materials are actually incredibly easy to farm. So you'll recall way early in the series, I had gotten a Site of Grace in Kale, and is this the right church? This isn't the right church. I had gotten a Site of Grace in Blythe's Woods that I referenced that we'd come back to later. So I'm not going to do it right now. I have enough foul feet to do what I want. But if you want to be able to farm the materials very easily to make gold pickle foul feet, you just come right down here. The most annoying material to have to farm is the... Hey, Trina Lily. Is the actual foul feet. But if you just go to that church and you ride on down the line here, there are a ton of birds just hanging out. So you just get you a bow. Like, look at all these birds just chilling on this beach. And they respawn, of course, at the Site of Grace. So you just go through and you deal with all these birds. And even if you don't get what you really want, which is the foul feet, the four-toed foul foot, the flight pinions can be used to make fletched arrows to make their arrows go farther. So you just go through here and you grab these. And we see we got a decent amount of foul feet for our efforts, for our time and efforts. And you can just go right back to the Fourth Church of Marika. So this is great. You throw in a podcast, you throw in a movie, you throw in an audiobook, and you just farm these foul feet for a while. Then, as you're farming your foul feet, you're going to pop back over to the Mistwood Outskirts Site of Grace. The other ingredient we need is the gold fireflies. So we're going to head back to this Site of Grace that we got earlier. Somebody's freaking out at me running around doing crap with this many runes just sitting in my inventory right now. We'll spend our money in a little bit. And you just ride on down here, and there's just like a crazy amount of gold fireflies that you can grab real quick down here. And again, these respawn, so you just grab all these fireflies. You ride back before the bears get you. You rest at the Site of Grace and you repeat it. And that is, so this was what, like less than 5 minutes of effort. Let's just see. Less than 5 minutes of effort, and I have enough materials for 4 of these. Raw fruits are the materials. So the raw fruit and the gold fireflies are the easiest thing to get a ton of. The foul foot the four-toed fowlfoot, that's what you kind of spend a little bit more time gathering. But boom, Bob's your uncle. Let's go ahead and make our sleep pots while we're at it. So now I'm sitting at 7 gold pickled fowl feet, which is amazing. And generally, so people ask me, when do you want to use a gold pickled fowl feet? And I think you can use it whenever you want to, because as you just saw, they're incredibly easy to farm the materials for. But if you don't feel like doing the farming and you kind of want an idea of where's a good spot to use them, hold on, I want to check something real quick. How much arcane? Reduvia takes 13 arcane. Reduvia just makes this so much faster, but we'll use Bloodhound. Generally, you want to have gold pickle fowl feet for every boss fight from Malekith on, or from the Fire Giant on. So Fire Giant, Malekith, Godskin Duo, Gideon, Horaloo, Radagon, Elden Beast. So you want like 6 gold pickle fowl feet by the time you're going to finish the game. So this is the last thing we're going to do real quick here. This is the Mother of All Dragons, and after the war with Marika, she's pretty much just done at this point. She's surrounded by her young, and the odds of her recovering are pretty much 0. So this is an area that players that are having a hard time early game and want to get a lot of runes, this is kind of there for you. Bet you this is faster if I'm not on Torrent. Not really. Reduvia makes this so much faster. But I don't have the stats for Reduvia, and so Bleed will not proc if you don't have the stats to wield the weapon, as far as I'm aware. But do yourself a favor and spend 13 arcane and get Reduvia, and then just respec later. This will go so much faster. I have to respec anyways. Hold on. What, is it just the 13 arcane that I'm missing? Yeah, okay. Which, if I weren't playing region locked, there's actually a helmet that I would just go get, so I wouldn't have to spend this arcane. But again, we have to respec anyways, so it's not a big deal. You can see how much faster this is with Reduvia. See that bleed proc's already there. And I'm actually going to show you guys a trick that I'm not going to use. But again, this is just showing some little silly things you can do in the game. Okay, so at this point you want to start counting. 6, maybe 30, 31. Okay, so I hit 30. So if you ride back immediately, this is so stupid. If you get to the side of Grace fast enough, oh no, she's still here! And yet I got all the runes for that takedown. I'm not going to use this for this run, but that's just a neat... Okay, not what I meant to do. Oh, I forgot to use the gold fowl-foot. Whatever. So that's just a neat little glitch that they left in the game. I don't know if they're ever going to patch it out. But that way you can literally just farm Grail forever as long as you get back in time. So you just time how many... That took 30 slashes with Reduvia at base Reduvia, no plus, and minimal stats for Arcane. But now what we're actually going to do is we're going to go see Renala real quick. I haven't been marking the bosses, I just realized. Okay, so we're going to mark you, and you, and you, and where's that cave? You. Okay. So now we are going to go see... You know what? We're not going to do that yet, actually. Instead, we are going... Where's the church? The church is down here, I think. Cathedral of Dragon Communion. As long as we're just messing around with silliness in this game at this point, let's go to the Church of Dragon Communion. And let's learn Rot Breath, which we have enough faith in Arcane to wield right now. So, let's go do another bit of silliness. let's go ahead and put Rot Breath on our roster. Okay. So now what we're going to want to do is pop over to Dragon Barrel West, and we're going to go over here. And this is actually one of the harder ones to pull off. For me personally, anyways. Let's get our Faith Weapon out at the very least. So when we kind of started doing this run, it was leaning a little bit more towards Faith Dex, and that's why we got Bloodhound online, but now we're kind of leaning a little bit more towards Faith Strength is ultimately where we're going to go for this build. But there's two ways to do what I'm about to go do. You know what? Can we do this with Verduvia? I mean, we can, but hold on. I want this for just the run-up, at least. So we have these annoying guys. That's not what you want. I really need this weapon to be more powerful, but I'm going to switch from this weapon to the Halo Scythe after we do this anyways, so it's whatever. Let's put our Sleep Pod on here. We're going to just scale the towers. The Divine Towers are devoted to... Come on, man. The Divine Towers are devoted to the various demigods. So this is actually Radahn's tower, I believe. Oh, hey, come on, don't do that. Oh, my lord. My hops are so bad. Okay, so this is, I believe, Radahn's tower. I never really use the Great Runes, so I don't even really know what Radahn's does. I think Radahn's is one of the ones people like. Godric's is pretty much accepted to be like the best one, but I think like Radahn's, people like Radahn's also. And I guess I heard that Millennia's isn't actually as bad as it seems like it is. But again, I literally never use them. Basically, when you beat a Shardbearer, you can get a Great Rune, and you can use that Great Rune then to... you know what, let's actually, until I get to where I want to be, let's mix my flasks a little bit differently. What am I doing? Yeah. Mix my flask a little bit differently. Yeah, you use the Great Rune, and you use the Rune Arc to activate it, and every Great Rune does something different. I really thought you were going to get off your move before I got mine. Okay. That was unnecessary roughness. I also just realized that I forgot to spend my money. Yeah, the Great Runes infer different, or confer different boosts. So, like, they'll increase your stats in certain areas. They might increase your endurance, you know, just different little things. But, again, I don't use them, so I don't even really know what they do. See if I can... bait you. No. With that stamp upward cut. Get out of here. Get out of here with that stamp upward cut. And good night. Okay. Now that we're not throwing like a big dum-dum, let's go over this away. A lot of people hate this tower because it's just really obnoxious to figure out how to navigate your first time. It's one of those, like, this is one of those moments that, how could you possibly know what you're supposed to do? And you really kind of just have to figure it out or look for a guide. I think I eventually figured it out myself. I really don't recall. That's like not me trying to flex. I really don't remember. Maybe I did. You know what? I have a bow and arrow. Let's just make life a little bit easier on myself. Well, alright. I was kind of hoping that I could just, like, poke him off the cliff. This is so stupid. Put your shield down. You know what? I'm bored now, so... Now this. Come say hi. Come say hi to me. I'm bored now. If I had led with Mighty Shot, that would have been a lot simpler. Or if I had a bow that had Barrage on it, that would have been a lot simpler. So now we ride the elevator. And... that's not what I meant to do. This is where you go if you want to be... If you want to give yourself a little bit of a break in case you end up making a mistake in this area. This makes it just easier to get back here. And we open up this shortcut here, which you can see takes us back to the starting area of this dungeon. So now we're going to slide back down the ladder. And honestly, we're just going to ignore this guy who followed us over the ladder, which actually makes it a lot easier than having to dodge him. Over here is a rune arc. And we're going to just go around the bend here. If you don't go around this area, then you end up just going right back up where you started and just running the same loop over and over and over again till you find this drop here. And then we go to the elevator here, which takes us down to our actual boss fight. And this is another boss that, if you're careful, you can do early game and get a lot of runes early. So we are going to go ahead and put our sleep pots on. We're going to go ahead and get our finger seal out. We're going to allocate our flask charges differently here. That's a little bit much. That might not be enough. Whatever, we'll find out. And we're going to bypass this guy here, who you can farm this guy to get the Godskin, one of the Godskin outfits if you want it. But the idea here, there's two ways to do this. One way is that as soon as you come in, you crouch in the corner here, and you wait for him to kind of get into a loop where he'll just kind of start walking back and forth. And the idea is that you inflict him with Scarlet Rot, and then you just, like, hide, and theoretically he'll just walk back and forth repeatedly. If he starts walking towards you, though, the loop is broken and you have to do it over again. So I don't really do it that way. I mean, I don't really do this, period, but you kind of want to get close, and then you can put him to sleep. And then you just let Scarlet Rot decide the battle. It's not enough to take him out in one go. So you'll have to, like, reapply sleep and reapply rot. But this is a way that you can cheese the Godskin Apostle. And this cheese works on every Godskin Apostle. It works on every Godskin Noble. Again, we're only going to do this one time. I just thought it would be fun to show you guys some of the silly things you can do in the game. So every other Godskin boss fight, we're going to legitimately fight. But this is just something silly you can do. And it's a little bit of a crapshoot what'll happen. Typically, he'll wake up before the rot wears off. Right, but see, now the rot wore off, so now we gotta reapply the rot, which is probably gonna take 2 breaths this time. And really what I should have done... There you go. So really what I should have done is equip the talisman to make my rot breath come out quicker. But also, right, this is kind of what I was talking about. So obviously I just had I did this poorly. But this is also what I'm talking about, where if you don't just legitimately learn how to do the fights anyways, these cheeses don't really matter, right? Like, oh, I did a dumb thing. Hold on, I need more pots. Excuse me. I'm trying to do a thing. Mind your business. So first thing I want is my money back, actually. This is kind of not even worth doing. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna just... I kind of want to just actually fight the boss at this point, because it would be so much easier for me to just actually fight him than to try to do this dumb cheese. And I'm just watching my death count go up for no good reason. So we're gonna try the cheese one more time. The reason why the cheese didn't work that time is that I had to like run into his aggro range to get my runes back, because I have a goofy amount of runes that I am not losing. So for the sake of the content, we're gonna try this like one more time, and then I'm just gonna actually fight him, because it's so much easier for me to just fight him than to do this cheese. Yeah, as it is, he's already not doing the AI that you want him to be doing to do the cheese. And one thing that you can do is you can kind of bait him into letting you put him to sleep early. And then you just kind of need to do some pivots where you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna rot breath him again. That's the wrong potion. And he's harder to do it on because he will dodge the pots. The noble will not really dodge the pots, but the apostle will. Yeah, this is so silly. Yeah, so this is kind of all that you do. But again, if this doesn't play out this time, then I'm just gonna fight him because it's so much easier. Doing this cheese works a lot easier on nobles and apostles. Okay, let's just actually fight him. This is obnoxious. I wanted to show off this cheese, and this, for me, this cheese is very hit or miss, so we're gonna just actually fight him, because this is just silly. So, okay. For the resistances that he has, I want Bloodhound for this. I want this talisman. I don't really care about having faith. What's a Deece talisman? Do I have any talismans that really kind of matter right now? I don't think I really have any other talismans right now that matter. I mean, I guess this is as good as any other one. Am I fat rolling? Hold everything, hold everything, hold everything, hold everything. Wait a minute, we are not about to just... because I also didn't do my talisman setup properly either. That would have been hilarious just desserts, though, to lose. Excuse me a minute. Excuse me a minute. Excuse me a minute, friend. Oh, hold on. A lot of things are happening that I don't understand right now, so hold on. First of all, second of all, third of all, is Winged Sword that heavy? I guess Winged Sword is that heavy. My equipment is really that heavy. I mean, because I don't really need the shield, but I also kind of need the shield. Hold on. That is quite a thing. Really? I need to invest in... what's actually even on this? Hold on, what's in my flask? I don't want to enhance charge attacks. I do want to make stance breaks easier. I don't have green burst yet. We'll get a free tank. In case I am stupid. Excuse me? Yep, okay, fine, whatever. Hi, friend. I almost cussed. Because I was like, can I get off the potion? I didn't know if I could get off the potion, and it turns out I could not get off the potion. I was like, can I get the potion? I think I have enough time to get the potion. I did not have enough time to get the potion. Alright. Let's try that again.
No, you're looking at that wooden thing under the table, right? When you first walk in.
No! No! Oh my lord. Oh my lord. I'm actually pretty proud of how that fight went, because as I said before, I'm actually really not good at fighting the Godskins. My timing is always just bad. So, I'm actually kind of proud of that fight. Excuse me. Oh my lord.
Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate flow through you.
Did I even actually remember to pick up my runes? I don't think I picked up my runes. I might not have actually picked up my runes. I think all my runes might be gone now. Which if they are, then it's whatever. I don't really care. Are all my runes gone? Oh, okay. No, I did pick up my runes. No, it honestly legitimately would not have bothered me if I lost all my runes. I've lost so many runes before. You know, you get them back. Who called me? This is a horrible time to get a call. I don't know this number. Please turn around. Okay, good. I thought I was too close still. I am too close to you. Oh, thank you for being merciful. Too close, 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 too close. Agreed. Okay. Not at all the cleanest Godskin win of my career. What do you want?